7 days ago, my team were in the Champions League final, and during the course of the day, before, after and during, I recorded some of the stuff that was going on around the final. This is something a little bit different. This is our first one-man Planet FPL podcast. Hope you enjoy. This is episode 8 of Planet FPL 30 and 30.
Fantasy Football Show.
It's 1 p.m. on Friday the 31st of May. Scarcely believably, this time tomorrow I'll be about 30,000 feet up in the air on the way to Madrid. I still can't quite get my head around how this has happened. If you think back to the group stage, 1 point from 3 games, losing at home to PSV with 13 minutes to go, nicked it at the death 1-2-1, got a late winner against Inter when we had to win match day 5, was in the new camp and the final game of the group stage, nicked a late equaliser. It was thoroughly deserved on the night. We were great in the second half particularly. We still had to rely on PSV, who were already out getting something at Inter, and they did. We drew Dortmund in the last 16. Everyone thought we'd get battered. We had an amazing second half performance in the first leg at Wembley and won 3-0. Resisted in the second leg and then nicked the away goal and went through fairly comfortably in the end with a 4-0 aggregate win. And then there was the City quarter-final. Back home, that first leg at the New Lane, I don't think I've ever experienced an atmosphere like that anywhere ever. It was incessant. The noise was incredible and we carried the team that night. And then I was in Manchester for the second leg. The still unbelievable VAR final ending. And then Ajax, who are a terrific young side with brilliant young talent who are going to be sought after from all of Europe's top clubs. We were lucky to get away with a 1-0 first leg defeat, and then the night in Amsterdam tells its own story when Mora scored in the 96th minute. It was probably my greatest ever moment as a football fan, I should think. And now Liverpool, another English side in the final, massive underdogs. We've got to go into it and believe this is uncharted territory for us, and I'm not sure if we'll ever get to this stage again. I can barely believe we're in it now. We've not played well all season is the honest truth. I've said many times on the podcast we only played well in 2 league games all season, Chelsea at home in November and Everton away in December. I've tried to keep myself away from all the attention of the media on the 2 clubs. I've tried to stay away from press conferences and social media stuff to do with the final, because I know I'll overthink it. You know, by the time tomorrow comes around, it will be 20 days since we played a game of football. I don't know quite how it's worked out that it's this late, but it is, and it's probably going to benefit us because there's a few, Harry Kane, Harry Winks, Davinson Sanchez, if he starts, have all been carrying obviously knocks, and it looks like we're going to Madrid with a full strength squad, as will Liverpool, other than Naby Keita, I believe. Unquestionably, they're the better side. They're the second best side on the planet at the moment. Someone asked me in the work office when the quarter-final draw was made, what do you think the final will be? I said City and Liverpool. I think they're absolutely dominating at the moment, and Liverpool have obviously been incredibly unfortunate not to win the title this year. I don't think that record of 97 points finishing second will ever be achieved by anyone. Again, you could argue that the 2 of them have changed the game in terms of what's necessary to try and win a Premier League title. And the rest of us at the moment, ourselves, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, we're miles away. And so actually the Champions League is incredibly the more achievable trophy in the short term, and perhaps going forward as a knockout competition. You don't need to show the consistency in the Champions League that you do in the Premier League. You just need to have a little bit of luck in the fine margin moments. We easily could have lost to Ajax, easily could have lost to City. In fact, the whole fucking way through this competition, we've needed luck. There's no lying about it. We've been eliminated, it's felt, on about 6 different occasions, and yet we're still here. As I said, I've been quite calm in the run-up because I've tried to avoid things. Seeing the video that I was in, the short film that the Fighting Cock and Flav produced, brought it home that they produced a brilliant video which they invited me to come be a part of about the win in Amsterdam, and that's finally brought the sense of occasion round now. Just had the flights confirmed with Thomas Cook Sport, fucking bunch of bastards, only yesterday. So got itinerary now, flying out 10:30 tomorrow morning, and then we're scheduled to fly back around about 2 o'clock in the morning straight after the game, which you can say, yeah, you're not soaking up the atmosphere as much. For me now, it's a little different to how I would have felt 10 years ago. I want to get home to the little one, and also, if we manage to pull it off, there might be a victory parade on Sunday to go to, and it will be a couple of hours sleep and then straight back down to Tottenham High Road and get back with our people. It's nearly 6:30 on the Friday, about 24 hours towards the game now, and I'm beginning to fucking feel this quite badly, to be honest. I've started to think through things in serious detail about tactics. I think it's fair to say Liverpool will line up as expected. I guess the only question marks with them is probably over the midfield three. I would anticipate it would be Fabinho with Henderson to the right and Wijnaldum to the left in Keita's absence. They could move to more of a 4-2-3-1. They did do it occasionally, sort of particularly around the autumn time, but I think for them it would be mad for them to change formation when obviously doing so well with what they're doing at the moment. For us, the honest truth is I haven't got a clue how we're going to line up. Everyone's fit. It's an unusual position for us to be in. My instinct is there's a lot of debate in terms of who will be left out, and I think the general consensus that Lucas, in spite of the Ajax hat-trick, will probably be the one who misses out if Harry Winks is fit to start, or if he decides to go with a back five and play Davinson Sanchez. I think there'll be a temptation to go with a five at the back, because the most successful game we've had against them in the last few years was a 4-1 at Wembley, and it was a very tight 5-3-2. The midfield three on that day included Eriksen and Ali, and I think they might line up in similar positions tomorrow. Son played right up front with Kane that day and tore Lovren one on the counter-attack. Lovren obviously we don't expect to play. I assume it will be Matip at centre-half. But my instinct is that Pochettino's a brave manager, and Moura will play, and Son will play, and Kane will play, and Eriksen will play, and Ali will play. And I think he'll line up with a midfield three of Eriksen and Ali, with Sissoko, as he's not even a fucking sitting player, is he? And a back four, which would be Rose, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, Trippier. And I think he would probably line up with Lucas and Son in very wide positions to try and counteract Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, who obviously from those fullback positions creates so much for Liverpool. That's how I think we'll line up. It's incredibly brave. If we go that way, it could be naive. It could backfire spectacularly in terms of lack of domination of the ball, but I think it would open up possibilities for us on the counter-attack. I guess the call is Harry Winks. Is he fit enough to start? It would give us a huge amount of better balance. I would feel more comfortable, I think, if we lined up in a 4-2-3-1, and I'd be more comfortable if Ali was close to Kane, because I think it's important to get the best out of your big players, and for those two to be together as a front pairing would be beneficial. Then that means one of Eriksen, Lucas or Son would have to miss out. It certainly wouldn't be Eriksen. My temptation, if he was to go that way, would actually be to leave Son out rather than Lucas. Not because I think Lucas is a better player or that it's necessarily deserving on the back of the semi-final, although it would obviously feel that way. I'm thinking more in terms of if the game's tight towards the end, to be able to bring on an impact player like Son would be a massive benefit to us. The same with Lucas, but Son with his direct running, I think coming on late could be a real benefit. And Lucas' physicality is great. He'll do the defensive work better than Son does as well. I mean, it's an unusual luxury for us to be in, that we would be able to bring players off the bench who can impact the game, whether it be a Son or a Lucas or Lamela as well, who made a brief but important cameo in Amsterdam. But this is me overthinking it, right? Which is exactly what I don't want to do. Whatever 11 Pochettino puts out, I trust it. No, I can't say I trust it to definitely win the game, but I know that I can believe in it. And I think Poch will go offensively, because I don't think he'll want to come out of the game and look back on it on Sunday if we've got beat and gone defensive and lost comfortably and have regrets. He's not that sort of manager. Could be that he'll have regrets by going for it, but I think it's the Tottenham way to dare is to do. Nearly 7 a.m. Mum and Dad have just turned up outside my house. Father-in-law's here to give us a lift to Stansted. This is it. This is Champions League final day. 10:25 a.m. Ready for takeoff. So in Madrid airport now, it's about 3 o'clock, been held on the plane for fucking ages. I just feel fucking blessed more than anything that I'm actually even here. Good friend of mine, Rob White, who I play football with on Thursday nights, he's at 9:50 AM flight from Stansted. It was cancelled and they've still not got a replacement. Rob is the son of the great John White, who played for the Spurs team in the early 60s, tragically lost his life when Rob was a baby, got struck by lightning. To think that he might miss this is cold, so I just feel fucking blessed that I'm here. I think the time that we're in now means a party in Madrid is probably not going to happen. Not that I want to be surrounded by too many Scousers anyway. So I think we get carted to the stadium now and probably be having beers there. But we're here. It's about 6 hours to kick off. Just gone 4 o'clock Spanish time. Now outside the Wanda Metropolitano, the fan section outside the ground for Spurs fans, and now looks like it's opening. There is little point in going into the city, unfortunately, because we believe everyone's getting thrown out of there at about 5:30. By the time we get there, it'll be time to come back. I've seen the fan base for Spurs fans in the city centre, and the amount of people they think they can hold, I'm pretty sure that they fucking can't. So we're here. Looks like we're going to plot up here, have a few beers. Feeling very, very calm at the moment. Now I'm here. To be honest, more thoughts of, like I said, for others who at the moment look like their strain ain't going to make it. I've heard an update. They might have a flight that might arrive an hour and a half before kickoff. Then they've got to get through passport and all that and actually get here. What a fucking joke. Imagine that, man. Champions League final and you don't know if you're going to fucking make it in time for kickoff. So blessed. I'm here. This is an event that will probably never ever come again for us. It will never be bigger than this. I mean, one of my greatest worries at the moment is what do I do if we win? Because I don't think there'll ever be a bigger win. I don't know if anything will ever feel the same again. But yeah, look, there's an opportunity here and we've got to try and seize the day. We know we're underdogs, but we can do it. 6 o'clock, 3 hours to kick off. Atmosphere is really building outside the ground now. People kind of start to filter in from the city centre. I had a couple of beers, calm the nerves a little bit. Not that they can be fucking calm, to tell you the truth. I'm not one of these guys who's going to be recording fucking audio during the game. I just want to watch the game. So if you're expecting crowd noises of goals and stuff, don't expect that. But yeah, let's see how the night goes. Just under an hour to kick off. Just got to the seat. I'm half fucking cut, to tell you the truth. Amazing fucking seat. I couldn't be any more central behind the goal. Middle tier, row 9. It's 14 rows, middle tier. Nice stadium. It's kind of got a real feel like very similar to Wembley, just a little bit more intimate and closer to the pitch, which is understandable because there's about fucking 25 odd thousand less people in the ground. You can hear the fucking atmosphere is building. Team is in. Liverpool's exactly what I thought it would be. Lucas Moura has missed out probably the harshest and biggest decision of Pochettino's Spurs reign. So fucking tough to leave him out after the semi-final win. Could be a 4-2-3-1. Could be a diamond. I don't know. I think it will probably be a diamond to get Ali in a position around to influence and affect Fabinho badly, which hopefully should give us a spare in the centre of the pitch. My greatest concern with that is, if we go that way, it does allow masses of spaces potentially for Robertson and Alexander-Arnold from the full-back positions. So, I mean, the one thing with our team is, and the 11 that he's picked, it could be a 4-2-3-1, it could be a diamond, it could be a 4-3-2-1. There's a number of different ways we'll set up. I think it's a diamond, but we'll see, right? Fucking hell, it's 55 minutes to a Champions League final kicks off. Jesus, how the fuck am I here? I still can't get my head around it. Here come the teams, just listen to this. time with trail 1-0. I don't know what the fuck happened there at the start of the game. I'm obviously behind the goal of the decision. Definitely looked like it hit Sissoko's hand. I guess in Europe, I mean, I've not seen any replays. Like, if it hits your hand in Europe, you got to expect it to be given. So, no complaints. I felt like Hugo should have saved it. That's how it looks from my view. Again, I haven't seen a replay. But we composed ourselves. The biggest thing was absolutely don't fucking go 2-0 down. Because then, like, even at any stage that happens, it's over, it's finished. They're too good a side. The biggest thing is to stay in the game. We're still in it. It's been a game of few chances. I think we've had a lot of the ball, but I think that's natural after Liverpool got an early goal. They're quite comfortable. The biggest threat looks to be Son. Looks like his movement, more than his attacking ability against Alexander-Arnold. His movement off the ball could give Alexander-Arnold some problems, but we did switch towards the end of the half, move Son to the right, so then I will set up on the second. We're still in it. That's the biggest thing, and stay in it. If you offered me 1-0 now with 10 minutes to go, I'd take it. Honestly, I'd take it. Stay in the game and have a chance. And if we equalise, we might have 5 or 10 minutes where we need to act quickly and try and get the winner quickly. But we're still in it. Atmosphere's great. Nervous as fuck. Enjoying it in an odd fucking way. I can't see us turning it round, but we're in it. We're in it.
It's 20 to 2 in the morning in Spain, and I've managed to get my phone fucking charged. Yeah, run out of fucking battery doing shit all fucking day for you lot, and for me, for what I hoped would be an incredible fucking memory. And it still was. It wasn't to be. Firstly, like, congratulations to Liverpool. They were a fucking amazing side. I don't think they were anywhere near at their best during the game, but the top level in a big decisive game like that, if you get an early goal, you've got every right to sit behind the ball. My overriding feeling at the moment was exactly the same as kind of when the second goal went in. Still feeling pride, man. Like, this journey of this season of Barcelona, Manchester, Amsterdam, like I said yesterday and earlier, feel so fucking blessed. My team's underperformed for the most of the season, but took me to places this year that I never thought I could fucking get to. And I'm just massively proud. I think, despite the fact we dominated a lot of the ball until the final 15 minutes, we never threatened them. So I don't think there's too many arguments is how I feel at the moment, to be very honest. Now doesn't feel like the time to do an autopsy on the team and where we go next. There's so many already. I can hear fucking talk in the airport. We need to buy this player. We need to do that. Listen, let's just fucking look back on what was an incredible season. I know what the fucking haters will say. You fucking finished it with no trophy again. Yeah, I get that. I think people have got short memories and forget where we were 5 years ago when Pochettino took over. What he's done with this football team is incredible. There was some outstanding performance there. I thought for the hour Harry Winks was on the pitch, he put in a top draw performance. And I imagine he'll start for England in the Nations League now on the basis of that. Because I sure as hell know that England lack a central midfield player who's calm on the ball. There's plenty will go on about Kane and was he fit, not fit. Look, he probably wasn't. I don't think Roberto Firmino was probably fit either for Liverpool. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. It was a tough selection for Pochettino, and he's the one who's in the position to know how fit Kane was or wasn't. And fucking hell, if you leave him on the bench and you lose 2-0, everyone will say the same thing. You got one of the best strikers in the world and you don't play him. So, like I said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Tomorrow or Monday, I'll probably update something again to say how I feel and do the autopsy of where we need to go moving forward. But look, man, we didn't even spend a fucking penny, man. We ain't bought a player for 18 months. We've had one of the worst injury records in the league this season. I don't think there's a player who, at some point or another, we haven't missed for a serious amount of time. Maybe Eriksen. Other than that, it feels like we've missed everyone at some point, for even Loris, for a chunk of the season. So, the overwhelming pride. I don't know if we ever get to this stage again. I don't think we're positioned as a football club to believe really that should be happening at the moment, especially when you're not spending the big money and the power of the others. But we're back home in a new stadium, which is a massive thing as well, and we're only going to move forward. It's Monday afternoon, about 3 p.m. Got my phone in one hand, recording audio, and I've got my son in the other, trying to grab the phone out of my hand. What's the matter, little man? You said you wanted to be on Planet FPL. Say something to the listeners.
And he's being shy now, bless him. Yeah, look, feeling is still overwhelming pride at the weekend. Looking back on the run we had, I kind of thought I'd look at our players and who might leave and who might not. I think I've kind of gone over the podcast already saying that I think there'll be a number of transfers this summer at Spurs. I think a lot of even the starting 11 from the weekend could well move on, but now's not the time to think about it still. You know, I kind of elaborated a bit on Wednesday's podcast, which is in 2 days, but 3 days ago, if you're listening to this, I think probably me and Sush probably talked about it a bit more then, I'm hoping. But listen, thanks. I hope you enjoyed this. It was something a little different to try. It didn't have the outcome that I hoped it would, but I hope you got a little flavour of what it was like for me to see my team in the Champions League final. And again, congratulations to Liverpool. I think what they achieved this year, they deserve to come out at the end of it with something on the board and something to show for it. Harry, talk to the listeners if you want to talk to them. Say something. No, he's shy. Whenever you ask him to say something, he says something. And when you don't want him to, he does. He's trying to grab the phone now. This hasn't hurt me as much as it would have a couple of years ago, and mainly because of this little man I've got with me. It means the world to me now, and I couldn't wait to... When I got home, I'd had about an hour's sleep. It was 8:30 in the morning. Yesterday morning, I spent another 3 hours awake with him. So, yeah, listen, like I said, I hope this gave you a flavour of what it was like for me at the Champions League. Support 30 and 30. This is part of it. Really get behind the correspondence and what we're doing. It means so much to me and Suj and what the guys are doing as well. So, lots of love. Until next time, take care. Cue music, man, child. Yeah,
The Fantasy Football Show.